My name is Joe Vasco. I was born in 1951. I don't have any experience of the war in Vietnam. I did everything in my power to not go. I would have gone if I was drafted. I had a student deferment that kept me out of it for the first year after I was 18. And then we had a national lottery, and I was number 168. They were supposed to take 180, and I was scared out of my mind to go to Vietnam. But again, I would have gone. My dad was a lifer in the Navy, so I was going if I got drafted. And they stopped drafting, I think, at number 150, so they cut it pretty close. It was unfortunate that we got caught in there, but I think that's typically what we do as a country. We maybe we stick our nose into other people's business more often than we should. But once we were there, it was almost like we were stuck. I felt a lot of empathy for the people that fought for our country, and also the long-term damage physically of these people and mentally was catastrophic. I've seen many people in both mental and physical distress after being in Vietnam. You know, young people coming back, losing their limbs, and even more importantly, their sanity. I think a lot of the people that are living on the streets from that era are there because of the horrors that they were exposed to in Vietnam. In reference to what specifically?
The war.
The war? Well, I remember in the late '60s, when I was just graduating from high school, again, being terrified to go and trying to avoid it with whatever legal means possible. In the '70s, I was in college. I had a little bit of, I grew my hair long. I thought I was a little bit of a hippie, but I was kind of busy doing my own thing. Graduating from high school, playing basketball, being in college, just the normal experiences.
Well, it was a long time ago. Obviously, it was the early '60s. It was a terribly it was a terrible amount of turmoil going on in this country. There was a lot of opinions, both on both sides of it. A lot of people felt that we shouldn't have been in it, and then a lot of other people felt that absolutely we should have been in it because it was going to knock down communists in that part of the world, so it wouldn't spread to other parts of the world. So both sides had some points. The people that thought we should have been there, they had a great point of view because they were right. I mean, we should have been there because we needed to know, and that at that time, when things were going on, we needed to knock down communism in different parts of the world so it wouldn't spread to other parts. And the people that were opposed, they were right too, because we lost a lot of men there. We had a lot of turmoil. We had a lot of problems. Equipment didn't work. Guys were getting killed. People getting drafted didn't want to go. People were leaving the country they didn't want to go. So it was a pretty tough call. Both sides really had their good and strong points about what happened then, and there was when you look back on it, there was no good guys or bad guys on either side of that issue. Even though some people became very radicalized on the liberal side that didn't want to be there and did a lot of crazy shit that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But still, they had good points. Maybe they just went about it in the wrong way.
So would you say that since North Vietnam clearly won the Vietnam War, would you say that we were at a stalemate here in America?
Well,
with the war?
technically speaking, they won, but you have to realize that we had put so much effort and so much manpower, so much money, and so many bombs into that situation that although they won, they'd stayed very isolated. It was only that country. It didn't spread to other countries.
Yeah.
So, did we win? Did we lose? I don't know. Both sides were, there's opinion on as to which way it went, and who really won that. A lot of people can say, yeah, we lost the war, but we won so many battles that it didn't spread elsewhere. So, it's hard to say. It's a tough call. It's a long time ago when that happened. Absolutely think that they should have taken place because that was the lifeline for the NVA, for the North Vietnamese to bring in supplies and men and money and guns and everything else. So yeah, they should have done it. Absolutely should have done it. It shouldn't have been a big secret. They just said, we're going over there and blast them. So I don't see that was a big issue. Whether they went into Cambodia or they went into Laos or someplace else where they quote weren't supposed to be, what difference did it make? If they cut off the lifelines and cut off the blood money and cut off the troops and cut off all the supplies, that would help the situation. That would have saved a lot of lives. So I don't see that was any big deal about why it should have been kept secret, other than, technically at the time we weren't supposed to be in those countries.
Yeah. And
Not at all. Not at all. I felt we should have probably been there and realized earlier on that it was a situation that was nearly impossible to win.
yeah.
Because when you're playing on somebody else's home ground, it's tough to beat them. It's tough to beat them. And they had a lot of support from other surrounding countries. So we should have gotten out earlier. Should we have been there to start with? I think we should have probably been there to start with. But we should have realized early on that it was not a situation that you could come out a big victor, and we needed to get out of there, a couple of years earlier than we did, and then it wouldn't have been such a bad situation, I think.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my friend.